Hello! It's been such a long time, but I'm here for our live Q&A Wednesdays. I hope you were all able to get the notification. I know Facebook has been changing things up a little bit. And I used to be able to invite everybody that's in the group. And I'm not sure why I cannot do that anymore. So I hope that you see this. If you hop on, no matter whether you're a replayer, which I think everybody will be at this point because I don't have anybody live, just hit the hearts and hit the likes, those little reaction things. Just keep hitting them, and what that does is that will tell Facebook that this is a cool video. Let's put it up to the rest of the timeline of the other members of the group. So if you would do that, that would be awesome. And that goes pretty much across the board. Any video that you watch, if you like it, hit those likes and those loves, and spread the love. The Facebook juice, as people call them. Oh, we got Lori. Hello, Lori. Yes, so we are, I'm just going to double check to make sure everything is going fine. And we are. Sure everything is going fine. So hello, Lori. Hello, Lori. Thank you so much for being on last night for Midnight Musings. That kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know where that was, but it had to be said. But today I wanted to talk about something, and I may expand on this in another video, maybe tonight. I don't know. It depends on how it feels. But one thing that's been coming across my feed, my awareness, is balance. And that got me thinking, what is it? What do they mean? What does balance mean? Does it mean sitting Indian style in front of a candle and saying Om all day long? I don't think so. Does it mean juggling 25 million things all at once? No, I don't think so either. So, I'm glad, yeah. Well, your school started, so you're getting up now early, aren't you? What time do you have to get up for work? Yeah, it's like, I appreciate you for stopping in. I know sometimes the Midnight Musings are late, but, I wanted to do a series and I couldn't get my schedule to do it during the afternoon. It just wasn't working. So I figured, well, what is the time that I'm always available? And that's the time it was. Oh my gosh, 6:30. Oh, I hate mornings too. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I just, I was thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about this, and yeah, balance is a kind of a tricky thing. There's a lot of people who teach different ideas of balance, and you know that I'm a law of attraction coach, so I deal with a lot of the universal laws, and I've mentioned about the law of polarity, where you have to, you cannot exist in this all good space. You have to have the balance. So the law of polarity is a perfect example of balance. You have to have the good with the bad. You can't appreciate the good without the bad. You can't grow without the bad. And that's the balance law. It really is. So how do we bring that into us? And what I came up with is, first of all, we are human beings. We have to allow our humanity. Okay? And humanity is not all puppies and kittens and unicorns. It just isn't. There's a lot of ups and downs, and the flow of life is not a straight line. The flow of life is this. And I've mentioned it before, but so how do we get that balance? Well, for one thing, you can't hide from the shadow parts of yourself. You can't. You can't hide from your emotions. You can't hide from things that feel uncomfortable. Mainly because to be uncomfortable is the starting point of change. You have to be uncomfortable to change. It's just the way it goes. Look at, everybody uses this analogy, and I'm going to use it again. I don't mean to be repetitive, but look at a butterfly and a caterpillar. How uncomfortable do you think that is for that caterpillar to turn into a butterfly? If you watched what happens to these caterpillars, they basically dissolve into mush and then emerge a beautiful butterfly. That's just how it works. They can't become this beautiful butterfly without the stress and the pain of the transition. And such is the same for us. If we stay in our boxes, and if we stay in our comfort zone, then we're never going to expand. And when we try to stay in the comfort zone, you are basically out of balance. Because when you have an emotional flare-up, when you get angry, when you get emotional, when you get sad, when you get all that stuff, that's still a part of you. That's a part of you. You cannot say, I'm not going to feel those things. Because those things give you the direction and the guidance you need to get over to here. And so there's a balance you have to come with. If you're angry all the time, guess what? You're out of balance. If you're happy all the time, guess what? You're out of balance. You can be happy most of the time, but there's going to be stressful times. There's going to be painful times. There's going to be death and loss and change and transition and all of that. That's just what's going to happen. So to find the balance, you need to learn how to handle both sides of the coin. If you figure out, you have your little, your scale, if I'm picturing the justice scale, and you have all these happy things, okay? Well, if you keep putting the happy things in, then this is going to be all the way up here, and you're going to be weighed down, and it's just not going to feel right. It'll be happy, I guess, but you forget about the bad stuff. The bad stuff keeps you centered. The bad stuff keeps you grounded. The law of polarity is such a powerful thing, and you can see it all the time. You cannot appreciate the light without the darkness. You cannot appreciate love without the hate. You cannot appreciate reconstruction unless there's destruction. And we are right now in this country, we just had a major hurricane, devastated Texas. We have another one that's about to devastate Florida. There's going to be damage. There's going to be destruction. But within that damage and destruction, for both of those hurricanes, as you saw it with Harvey, all of the people came together and they joined forces, and you felt love and community and connection. So through the destruction, you found the reconstruction. And that reconstruction entailed the entire region. People joining forces to help. You also saw the rest of the country joining forces to help. So out of the destruction of community, you found the reconstruction of community. And I believe, and my friend Blake, I was on her her video yesterday. She's a channeler, a spiritual teacher as well, and she has her divine guidance team, and this is what they're saying: is nature wants to find balance, and so do we. We need to realize that it takes both sides to find balance. So you never want to ignore the shadow parts of yourself and repress them. Because what happens when you repress? They bubble up to the surface at the most inopportune times. You can't suppress it. You have to move through it. And through oh, hi, Joy, how are you? You have to move through. Oh, we got 4 people now. Oh, my goodness. Hello, everybody. But you have to move through the shadow parts of yourself to get to the light. I teach how to move through shame and fear and guilt. You have to experience these things. You have to. There's no way around it. The more you avoid, the more you resist. The more you resist, the more suffering you're in. No matter what it looks like on the outside. You cannot resist. You need to find that balance. And, you know, in life, in how you're behaving, if you're doing 25 things at once, and nothing for other people and nothing for yourself, you're out of balance. You need to find balance by doing something for yourself to kind of level that back up. That's how you find balance and stuff like that. You know, saying yes and saying no. Both of those words are highly empowering when used appropriately. You will find balance. You will find balance if you use them appropriately. If you're a yes person, yes, 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 and don't know how to say no, you're out of balance. You are not allowing yourself the space for replenishment. You're not allowing yourself the space for self-care and self-love. At the same time, if you are a no person, you are also out of balance because you are not opening up doors to opportunities that could actually be beneficial to you. Now, with the law of attraction, you have to have the balance. Okay, there's a law of resonance, which is basically what the law of attraction is based on. So if you, and I mentioned it in one of my midnight musings, if you ring, like, say, a bell over here in one tone and a bell over here in the other tone, those two frequencies are going to eventually meet in the middle and find balance. That is a law of resonance. So the more balanced you are, the more you will invite balance into your life. Meditation, if you're busy, can do that. But what I have found, and I do believe in meditation, I really do. Meditation, prayer, all of that's great. I pray constantly. I ask my angels, I ask my God, I do all of that stuff. But when it comes to like formal meditation where I'm sitting in front of my altar and I'm just oming away an hour, I don't do that anymore. It helped. It can help, and when I need it, I will take a moment that's longer than, a certain amount of time and try to bring myself back to that calm, that still if I'm buzz. But what I felt, and this is how I find balance in my life as far as meditative practices, I have moments in my day. Now, I have an app. I've mentioned my app before. It's called Mindfulness Bell. I have it set to go off every hour and a half. I get one Tibetan bell chime. And when that goes off, I just pause. I pause. I become mindful of where I'm at, how I'm feeling. I thank my guides. I thank my God. I thank my team around me for the guidance and the help that they give me. I breathe in appreciation, and I let go resistance. And that is my meditative process. I do that, and it doesn't take very long. It's like literally 30 seconds, like every hour and a half. But that's how I've been able to find balance, as far as that's concerned. So, you're welcome, Joy. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk. I mean, it's kind of brief, for the most part, but realize that balance does not mean ignoring. Balance means experiencing and finding a way to work with things and being able to kind of bring your scales back up. You know, don't be angry all the time. Don't be happy all the time. Enjoy your humanity. We are put here on this earth with this body so we can learn. And if our body has feelings and emotions and behaviors naturally, then honestly, what good would it do to ignore them? There's not a balance there. You need to find balance. So I hope that was clear. I hope that was clear. So that is what I just wanted to come with you with that. And so if there's any questions, please let me know. Let me make my screen full so I can see it better. Yeah, so now we can open the floor to questions. I know there's been lots of videos that I've been doing lately. I got like 3 weeks of Midnight Musings. You know, I haven't been able to do these Q&As in a while. There's got to be some questions somewhere. There's got to be. So if you have any questions, let me know. And heck, let me know who's here. I just see Lori and Joy. I'm not sure who else is here. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. The floor is yours, and I will answer the best of my ability. And if there's something that I'm not 100% sure of, I can get back to you. And I know I'm in my Midnight Musings setup. I just didn't feel like cleaning up the dining room table for where I normally do it. And it's kind of muggy to do on the front porch. So I hope this is okay. It's kind of comfortable. I'm like on the floor. I got my little floor chair. I love it. So yeah, so hit me up. What are your questions? What are your questions? Is there something that I've talked about in the last couple of days that you would like me to expand on, or whatever? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. We got 4 people on and only 2 people have commented. I know you're not crickets. I know you're not crickets. So let me know. Let me know. I'm here. I'm making myself available to you. You know, I know there's been changes. I have noticed that our lives are not getting as much viewing within this group. I know my lives and my personal profile are actually getting, and I'm hoping that the videos that I share here in the group, you're getting something out of. I don't see a lot of comments. I don't see a lot of stuff, you know, letting me know. So I really want to expand the teachings here. I really want to figure out where I should kind of direct myself to, and cater that to you guys in the group and all of the replayers that we have. You know, I know most of my lives maybe get in this group, maybe get about on average 50 views. So I know people are watching them, but I'm not getting any feedback. And again, I've said this before, this group is your group. So if there is something that you need help on, or you need to, you know, you have questions or something that kind of come to you, please feel free. Let me know, because this is your group. This is your group. All right, so trying to get out of the box. When I'm truthful to people about my feelings, they say, why are you being so mean? And I feel bad. I'm just being honest, not trying to be mean. Okay, you're going to get that. Unfortunately, that is the way. Those people that think you are being mean, they're used to you being a certain way. They are not sure how to handle, you or somebody else. They're not able to handle your change because you make them uncomfortable. Now, I know that you have a huge heart, so you're not being mean. I mean, I haven't heard you say anything to these people, but I know you're not a mean person. It's their perception. All you have to do is stand in your truth. Don't let the reactions of somebody else who can't handle your change affect you at that level. You should not feel bad about standing in your truth. You should not feel bad about being honest, because honesty is where it's at. There are people literally, and I don't want to scare you, and hopefully that you have people around you who love you for who you are. But there are people that when they start living their truth, they lose a lot of friends. Because these people get used to you being a certain way, and when you start standing in your truth and standing strong and taking care of yourself, they don't like it because it makes them uncomfortable. Remember that. Remember that. You are making them uncomfortable, and they are not willing to go through that that uncomfortableness. You're trying to find balance in your life, and you just need to stick to it and stay persistent, stay compassionate, stay consistent. And eventually people will understand. For myself, when I started this, I had to cut people off. And it was painful for me. It was painful for me. I have a friend who has been my friend for over 40 years. And when I stopped sacrificing my time and started living in my truth and started not accepting my disappointment in them because they were not reciprocating, I kind of lost that friend. And it's painful. It's really, really painful. But I had to take care of myself. I was the one who gave the entire time we were friends. I know she still loves me. I still love her. That's not an issue. But it came to the point where I had to realize that I considered her more of a priority than she considered me. And I had to stop. I had to realize that. That was painful. Really was painful. And then something happened in her life and it got even worse. And I barely talk to her at all. I mean, I have no idea what's going on in her life. And that's sad. On the other hand, I also had to stop giving too much to my family. I was always the one that wanted to fix things for everybody. I wanted to solve the contentions and stuff like that within the family. I put myself in that position where I wanted to fix it. I wanted to fix everything. I wanted to fix this person. I wanted to fix that person. And it got to the point where I had to say no. I had to say no. I can't do that anymore. That's not my job. That's not my job. I had to pull away. Some family members I barely talk to anymore. And it's not that I don't love them. It's like, how much can you give and never receive? So I had to find the balance within me, and I had to stand in my truth, and I had to say, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not. You expect me to be this way? Well, guess what? I'm not going to be that anymore. I'm not. You don't show me any attention at all, and you expect me to put you in a position where I should pay attention to you, but you're not reciprocating. You have to find the balance within yourself. You have to stand in your truth. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for honoring yourself. And if they still have a problem with it, you can ask questions like, so the fact that I am finally taking care of myself makes you uncomfortable? How would you like me to do that? Or, you can create your own language around it and ask your own questions, but most people want you to succeed. Most people want you to be happy. Most people want you to find joy and to find respect for yourself. They just don't know how that's going to look. And when you start taking those steps, it gets scary to them. It gets scary. Because when you change, they have to change. That's part of that balance thing. As compassionate as you are, people are going to be uncomfortable. I hope that helps. Let's see what we got here. So many resentments because of things like that. We have that fixing things in common. Yeah, you know what? People are people. They have their humanity. They're human. You're human. It's all about how to make it work for you, really. If it's an important relationship in your life, and they're having a problem with you changing, then what you could do is maybe, if you have a close relationship with that person, you have a conversation. Like, literally, just have a conversation. Because communication is what is necessary in all relationships. We have to communicate our needs, our wants, and our desires. If somebody doesn't know that you desire this particular thing, then they're going to question why you're doing that particular thing. Some people, you know what? It doesn't matter what they think because they're not important. But say it's like a family member or a co-worker that you have to work with every single day, and you have a relationship, then the conversation needs to happen. And you make it work. You make it work. Oh, joy. I used to be based on keeping myself safe by finding out what people wanted and giving it to them. Accusations that I should reciprocate until I started to get in touch with who I really am and started to be me no matter what. They ended up adjusting to me, and I stopped having expectations. Just accepted them as they are once I accepted myself as I am. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lori, what Joy put down is really important. And that That's where you want to get to. You want to be able to accept and allow people to have their opinions. You have to accept and allow that this is who you are now. You have to, people adjust. It's taken, in my life, it's taken a little while. And a couple conversations had to happen. There's a little bit more clarity with a couple of my family members. And that has helped the relationship to get stronger and to get better. Expectations, or irrational expectations, that other people place on us. And I had that, I don't know if you watched that video I had about expectations. People always put irrational expectations on others. Excuse the phone. It should stop. Yeah. And they're going to do that. You just have to allow it. You have to allow it. You don't need to live up to these ridiculous expectations. You just have to accept. Accept that they're that way. Accept that you're this way. Accept the situation is at this particular position right now. But have the faith and hope that things will adjust. There's always going to be that thing. Right now, the other people, they're feeling out of balance. You've shaken up their status quo. Because you're different now. You're changing. You're standing in your truth. They're like, ah! What are you doing to me? Because they're uncomfortable. And just as the law of resonance happens, they will adjust to you. Because you're going to be resonating up here. And they have no choice but to meet you in certain levels. That's just physics. That's just what happens. I've had, like I said, my relationships with some members of my family have gotten better because they've adjusted and they've realized that my transformation and my journey is making me a better person. It's making me happier. It's giving me a purpose. It's giving me a role on this planet to fill. And because they love me and they finally are seeing the results of my efforts, they only want me to be happier. That will happen. They will, just as Joy said, oh, hello, Darlene. I was wondering where you were. I've missed you all guys so much because I haven't been in. But yeah, just as Joy mentioned, they will adjust to you. And let me tell you, when things adjust and the law of resonance comes into play and you up here and them meeting you up here, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You just have to have patience because they are going to have their resistance. They are going to resist and resist and resist. And there may be contentions and there may be arguments and there may be, and you know, and I hate to say it, you may lose people. Hopefully those people will come back once you're further along on your path. But you have to realize that everybody has their own path. And if they're not ready for your transformation, because they know, their higher selves know, that your transformation is going to create a transformation in them. And if they're not ready for that, then they may have to step away. And that has nothing to do with you. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. They have to be on their own path. They have to do their own work. And the great thing about it is when you start changing your life and you start finding the joy and the love within yourself, you start planting seeds everywhere. Totally. You start planting seeds. And the more compassionate you are, the more fertile the ground of those seeds become. And this is where it comes with the whole one person can change a relationship. That one seed, as long as you keep treating it with the same compassion and love, and you are watering it with that compassion and love, that seed's going to bloom, and that seed's going to grow into a beautiful, beautiful, amazing relationship. So that's the upside. But there's going to be this little play of balance. So just have faith. Have faith. Stay true to your heart. And ask when you need help. Because we're all here for you. We're all here for you. We got something. Oh, yep. The spiritual movement. Yes, that's what this is. The spiritual movement. Our planet is in a shift. We are in a shift. It's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people. It's going to be uncomfortable. And you just got to keep trucking. Just keep trucking along. Do your thing. Follow your inner guidance. Follow your guidance of your spirit guides. Follow your guidance of God. Follow those things, because you know what? They're not going to lead you astray. They're going to lead you to where you need to be. And everything else will follow behind. So I hope that helps. I really, does that help, Lori? I know it. I went on a long tangent with that, and we have 2 people online. I do not know who is online now. But Lori, if you are still here, let me know if that resonated with you. If you had to leave or you had an internet problem, just I hope you can check the replay. So that is that. So Darlene, Joy, whoever is here, we have 2 people live. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'll just give it a moment. Gosh, I'm looking at myself in the computer screen. Oh, it's okay. I just went on a whole thing. I hope you got some of it. You might want to go back and check the replay, because some of that stuff was just coming out. So I don't think I'd be able to do it justice by repeating it. But yeah, I figured there was probably an internet issue. I do not know who else is here. So I know we got 2, and I know that number's a little bit off. I was at the best part. Oh, don't be upset. Don't be upset. Private message me if you need. Oh, thank you, Darlene. Yeah, don't let others make you upset. Really don't, because if you are following your truth, and if you are living in love and light, like I really know you probably are, there's no need for that. There's no need to be upset. Yeah, you can be disappointed. I mean, we have to honor our emotions, but when we get upset, we have to realize that we need to move through that and find a solution. So you don't want to get stuck in that upset hamster wheel, because it can get out of control. I've been there many times where my brain just doesn't shut off, and I just go into this thought loop, and it just over and over and over, and I just get worse and worse and worse, and I get more upset and more upset and more upset and more upset. That's what you want to stay away from. Be upset. Honor your feelings. Look into those feelings. Find out why you feel this way. Really do some self-reflection without judgment. I know I say that all the time, but I really want to make sure that you do not judge yourself. Because you're a human being. You have things. You have things in your life that every one of us has. You have to honor that. That's where you find the balance. So honor your feelings. If you are upset, honor that. And kind of go deeper. Find out why you're upset. What is something missing? Are you getting stuck in the guilt cycle? Are you feeling shame because you're leaving others behind? Really look into why you feel the way you are. Why are you having this upset feeling? And then move through it. And there's always ways. And if you have problems getting out of that, there's always people to help you. And you know, I'm always here for you. Always here for you. I could help you but just if you visualize, think, okay, I'm upset. Am I going over it in my head over and over and over and over again? Or am I just feeling the feelings of being upset? Because you need to honor that. Because the feeling of being upset is trying to tell you something. What is that trying to tell you something? So you go in, ask your questions. Struggling with family not being there for mom. Oh yeah, that's a tough one. I'm having a little bit of that issue with my family. My mother has been taking care of my grandmother, and my mother has chronic pain issues and stuff like that, and she was, every once in a while, one of her siblings will come in, but there's a sibling literally less than a mile away that does absolutely nothing to help and expects my mother to behave and take care of my grandmother like she's a 20-year-old healthy athletic person. And my brother does what he can, but there's so much just insensitivity toward my mother and my brother, who are doing the majority of the work. Now, my one aunt, who's actually up here, she lives down south, she's up here, but she comes when she wants, but she lives in a different state, so it's really difficult. My mother's other brother, he lives in a different state as well, but when it's off season, he does, because he's up in Nantucket, so when it's off season, he does come in. But there's an awful lot of insensitivity. It's like nobody, she's 91 years old. Spend some time with your mother, so I can completely understand with the struggles of family not being there for your mom or another family member. It's really sad. And unfortunately, outside of prayers and compassion and there's not much we can do. We cannot control other people. And just know that you are doing your best. You are doing your best. Those in your family are doing their best. As much as having a family member or multiple family members who don't pull their weight within the family, you can't do anything about that. You really can't, because that's their stuff. The only way is to set an example and just try to be less contentious. I get so frustrated with my family sometimes, and I have to realize, what? My frustration is not going to change anything. So how do I take responsibility? I live in another state as well. So how do I take responsibility to help? Well, the best thing I can do is to support my mother. Support my brother. They're doing all of this work. And my support is what I can give. That's what I can control. I can't control other family members that don't pay attention. I can't control all of that. So, as upsetting as it is, it's kind of is what it is. It's the law of allowing. You have to allow people to be where they are. And yeah, you can remind them every once in a while. But the best reminder is being an example and walking through the world with love and light, and doing everything that you do with compassion, even towards them. Try not to fight with them. You know, sometimes I want to say, like, well, you'll be sorry when your mother's gone. You know, but that's kind of snarky. You don't want to do that. You know, we got to go high. We got to go high. But that's really a tough one. I mean, I don't know if any of what I said just helped you, but that's the best way to do it. I try to control my feelings. Yes, yeah, that's the best way you can do it, is just to try to control your feelings. And just always treat people with love. Even if you're angry with them. You know, I always talk about that pause. You know, it's really important to, before we lash out, is to pause. Take that moment and breathe and listen to your heart. And I know that's tough. It takes practice. It takes practice. It is not something that you can just snap your fingers and do. It takes practice. But the more you pause and the more you create space between your reaction and your feelings, the more space you create, the more you can find compassion within that space. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. That's kind of how I've been dealing with it in my life. And support those that are doing what they can, as best as you can. So, that's hard. I'm really going to have to work on that. Yeah, it's really, it takes practice. I mean, this whole, like, journey of transformation, it is a practice. It is not something that you can flip a switch. It takes consistency. It takes persistence. It takes practice. That's why they call it a practice. Meditation is a practice because you can't just meditate once and get the answers. Thinking positively is a practice. Finding balance is a practice. You know, it's always good to find outlets. I am not a journaler, but I know some people who are. And a lot of times when you have these emotions, you have to move through them. Like I said, you can't repress your emotions. You have to move through the emotions. So if you have a flare-up of anger or frustration or disappointment, write it down. Because what happens when you write, and I'm not talking about typing, I'm talking about writing, like actually grab a pen and a paper and write. Because what happens is there's an actual neurological connection between the brain and the hand. It goes right down the arm. So when you have thoughts in your head and you start writing them, you create kind of a brain dump. And that energy that's in your head that's making you go into these thought loops has a release. It has a release. And the more you write down your emotions, and you don't even have to go back and read it. You know, if you want to write it down and then burn it in a fireplace or whatever, do whatever you need to do, but get that stuff out of your head. Somehow, get it out of your head. And writing is a really great way of doing that. So that can definitely help you handle when your emotions are, that helps you move through it. It really does. It helps you move through it. Because your brain, as you're doing that brain dump, your brain actually has a release, and it can rest between the loops. And when you have that rest between the thought loops, the proper synaptic connections in your brain start to fire. And it definitely helps. So I hope, yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that. So, I mean, we've been going for 49 minutes. Oh my gosh, I have been talking so much. I'm sorry. But it's been a long time since I've come in live. I will be in next week, and I hope to do things. I really want more interaction, so I have to get more active in the group. So just keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully things will start coming. And I hope the Midnight Musings are helping. I know that's like, on my personal page. And there's a strategy behind that. I really want to get more people into the group, and I want to get people to think differently and think outside the box. So that's what that's for. And I share them here so you guys can also get them. But I'm going to try to come in maybe one more time a week and figure out something. So give me your feedback. Let me know how this happened, how this helps you. If there's anything you want me to expand on, please don't hesitate. I'm going to be popping in a couple polls this week. So keep an eye out for that. And we can, adjust. 'Cause as I said before, this is your group. This is your group. I want you to get out of it what you are looking for. So, and I can only know that unless you tell me. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a psychic. I'm intuitive, but I'm not a psychic. So that's that. 50 minutes. This is a pretty long video. I hope I was able to help. I think, Lori, you're the only one here now. I hope I was able to help with your questions. And feel free to ask me more if you are a replayer and you have a question. Pop it in the comments, and I will come back and I will read those comments. So that is that. You are very welcome. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I love you. I love you. So that is that. I'm going to leave you with that. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and walk in love and light, and find the balance you need. And stand in your truth. Stand in your truth. So, have a wonderful day. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.